People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of the Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Ghana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a Partnership for National Unity. I urge you to put your X next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
Good morning. And it's 53 minutes after 10 o'clock. If you haven't voted already, you've got to go out and vote. If you didn't, call your relatives and your friends back in Guyana or wherever you are, whether you're in the US, whether you're in the Caribbean, wherever you are, call your relatives and friends. Call them right now. If you have relatives and friends in Linden, give them a buzz right now. Ask them about the process. Ask them if they've voted already. And most importantly, encourage them to vote for the right party, for the right team who would be able to make Guyana breathe again. Because you need that. You don't need your relatives or friends to waste their votes. They've got to put their vote where it matters, where it counts, where Guyana can be saved. At this point in time, we've got to ensure that Guyana is safe. And not only safe, it's saved from the hands of the corrupt individuals. And we know who those corrupt individuals are. So go out, continue to go out in your numbers. Now, I'll check the comment section. How many of you have voted already and made the right choice? Not about emotions. This is not about silliness. It's not about emotions. I know I've seen the colors of some people who are on my friends list on Facebook. I've seen the colors of them. I've seen them. I've seen through their hearts. I know what they're about. And all along, when you think that they're about justice, when you think they're about righteousness, when you think they're about doing what is right, some of them surprise you. Don't be, uh, don't be upset too much with those who have surprised you. We already know who they are. We already know what they're about. Some, could you believe it? Could you believe some have, a couple of them have deleted me from Facebook because they don't like what I'm saying, because it gets to them and their bumps raise. When I say that emotions in an elections, when you vote for emotions, it gets you nowhere. You've got to know who you're voting for, what you're voting about. Anger vote doesn't count. And so because of that, some of them deleted me from Facebook. Some of them are waiting to delete me tonight. Some of them are waiting to delete me tomorrow. But I tell you guys what, I can't wait for it to happen. I'm not going to delete them. I want them to delete me. Put that aside, though. How many of you have gone out already and have voted? How many of you have voted already? I got lots of, well, I don't want to make it sound as though a heck of a lot, but quite a few folks have been contacting me during the morning. And that is why I allowed those folks on the ground to show you where they are. Travis Chase, those guys were doing their thing. And the other folks who are on the ground, folks like Conan Marshall and others who are on the ground. And so I gave those individuals, well, I think it's only fair that since they're on the ground, they tell us what is happening, and they've been doing that via their live feeds and so forth. And so I'm just stepping in here for a few minutes to highlight some of the problems that I've heard so far. One, when the leader of the opposition, presidential candidate for APNU, spoke this morning to the media as he exited the polling station, he mentioned something that was mentioned days ago, and GCOM apparently didn't correct it. You've got to be able to see the individual when they walk into that voting booth area. Now, you don't have to see their entire body. You don't have to see who they're voting for, but they have to be visible, so that you don't want them to pick up phones and taking photographs and then taking it back to Freedom House or wherever else they have to take and collect their 20,000 or collect their 25,000 or collect some small contracts, because that's what's happening. And so the corrupt PPP regime, they want some members of GCOM, some workers of GCOM to turn a blind eye. So when folks walk into a voting booth, they want photographs to be taken. And we are seeing some photographs circulating on social media. You remember the infamous story of that individual, Kashif, from Kashif and Shanghai, when he posted who he voted for. And that was the end of the Kashif and Shanghai football tournament. That was the end. Now we're seeing a repeat of that. It is said that some popular cyclist by the name of Greaves posted who he voted for. And now it's questionable. Why would you have to walk into a voting booth and prove who you voted for? You know, it's like it's a sellout, guys. That these guys got to prove a point, and they got to take that evidence back to the PPP. At least we don't see APNU behaving that way at all. So who are these guys taking their votes back to? PPP number 1 or PPP number 2 to collect their monies? I don't know. Something is fishy about that. But the polling station guys, workers, the polling agents, they must be able to see. They must see you when you walk into that booth area. They've got to see you. You can't cover up and they can't see what's happening in there. They have to see you. So again, they don't have to see who you're voting for, but you've got to be visible. It happens all over. They see you when you walk right in there. The other thing is when you vote, the ink on your finger, it should be on for a couple hours. A couple of folks have inboxed me, their finger, say, hey, we voted. and I know who they voted for. So they didn't have to take a photo and show me the evidence. They didn't have to show me the evidence, but they voted. 5 minutes after, ink is gone. One particular person said to me, Mark, could you believe the ink is gone? And do you know in certain areas where people are being paid 25, 30,000, 50,000 to go and vote, and people are going and vote double times, triple times in predominantly PPP areas? You've got to pay attention to that. And I don't know. You've just got to pay attention to that. You know, somebody just messaged me to say that they're looking at my program right now, and they voted since 6 a.m., 6 o'clock this morning. And they listed the area where they voted, and it was at a nursery school. They're asking to leave your phone on a table, and you can see the person. The ink is weak, come off very easily. And so somebody just messaged me here. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Message me here to say, hey, they're asking you to leave your phone at the table. And the ink comes off as soon as you walk out of the voting booth and you go home, you go back into your car or wherever. Guess what? The ink is gone. How many of you guys have experienced that? The ink is gone. It's gone. And now let me say this to you guys. Pick that phone up right now. Call somebody in Guyana. Call a friend, call a relative, and ask them if they have voted. If they say no, ask them why haven't they voted? And of course, they have to make the right choice. If they say it's transportation and they don't have gas money because they're not in Linden, and so Edgell is not able to give free gas to PPP supporters in Linden, another act of desperation. But find a way for them to reach. Find a way for them to get out of the house and go and vote. Just like they find a way to head down to Western Union. No, I'm not knocking people who are in Guyana, because when I was there, I head down to Western Union and MoneyGram. And those are some glorious, you're rushing down and your heart beating to go collect the little $50 or the little $100. If you're lucky, you get $150, right? And so if you were excited then to head down to Western Union or MoneyGram, or back in the days it was National Pride, or I think Leparkin does that too, right? So why can't you be happy to go out right now and vote? Go out and vote. You're voting for your future. Not only yours, you're voting for your children's future, your grandchildren's future. You're voting for a better Guyana. That is what you need. A better Guyana, not from corruption and smuggling and fuel smuggling, gold smuggling. Guyana cannot breathe again like that. Guyana cannot grow again like that. And that is why it's important that you go out and vote. And this is how you vote. Call your relatives and ask them to go out and vote. Just like this person that just messaged me to say that they voted since 6:30. 6:30 this morning. 6:30 this morning. I'm so happy. And I am almost certain that this person did the right thing. Now I'm tempted to have that person message me again, because that individual is watching, is listening, and I hope they put their X where it matters, where Guyana will be able to breathe again and to save Guyana. That is what this elections is about. It's not to save an individual, neither is it to keep the corrupt PPP in office. Vote them out. Vote them out. Call your relatives, call your friends. In fact, I'm going to call some of them right now. As I did earlier, I'm going to call them again. I'm going to call one particular person that you guys know. One person, I'm going to ask what's going on. Did she vote? Let's go. So I'm going to call somebody that I know. You guys gonna call somebody that you know. Maybe this person is working as a polling agent. Who knows? I don't know. But if they answer, then kudos to them. I will get a call back. How many of you placed a call right now? Place that call right now. Place that call right now. Golly God. I don't have to call. You mean Neville Sital known as Civic? I am almost certain that Civic voted already. Let us take this time out right now to call someone in Guyana and ask them whether one, they voted already, or two, let them go out and vote right now. They've got to do it. The country's future is at stake, and you've got to be able. Ian Williams is saying, I'm reading your comments. Ian Williams is saying that he voted like a boss. He voted for APNU. Now, don't be afraid to say to people, to call people and tell them to vote for APNU. Do not be afraid of that at all. Just do not. Hector Messiah voted and he made the right choice. Marla Alicock voted. Marla Alicock is saying that, Mark, I voted in Sophia. And no one can see if you take out your phone and flash where you vote. She's saying that her friend in Melanie, and she told her the same thing. So in other words, the PPP wants this to happen, where you walk into the voting booth. Because remember, the PPP, according to information, mind you, has paid people to vote for them. And so in order to collect your check, in order to get a small drainage contract or whatever, you've got to show them the evidence that you voted for them. The PPP is not the only one that's doing that, you know. Blew it up. The PPP is not the only one paying people to vote. The only party that we know, that at least I am aware, that is not paying people to vote is APNU. APNU is not paying people to vote. I repeat, APNU, there's no evidence that APNU is paying people to vote. But we know Simona Brooms is not paying people to vote. We know London is not paying people to vote. But they're trying their thing. But at the end of the day, the major party, which is APNU and the coalition, they're not paying people to vote at all. I repeat, they are not paying people to vote at all. Now, I just got a message. Someone says here, you know, I did the right thing and was talking to other young people to do the right thing. My sister is a blah, 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 a member of the joint services. Family members are members of the joint services. And so they all did the right thing. And that person confirmed to me who they voted for. You know, it's okay. They did that. And they did just that. They did the right thing. And of course, I see the palm. And people are doing the right thing. And that's what you want, the right thing to be done in these elections. So call a relative, call your friends, call your folks right now in Guyana and ask them to go out and vote. Ask them to do the right thing. You guys know what the right thing is. We all know what the right thing is. And so we're watching. Now, let me say this. Many of you may know this by now, that you're not going to see the candidates on social media. You're not going to see the leader of the opposition and presidential candidate on social media or in interviews, or the prime ministerial candidate. You're not going to see them because according to elections law or laws, they cannot campaign after midnight Saturday night. And that is why Saturday night was the final night rally, or I believe, yeah, the final night rally, and that's it. Campaign ceases. So you guys now have to do the campaigning. You have to do the campaigning on social media. You have to spread the word. You have to go right now on your Facebook page or your, share it in WhatsApp groups, share it on TikTok, and you share the palm. You let people know how important these elections are, the general and regional elections, and that they have to go out and vote. There should be no excuses, none whatsoever. I'm talking to the folks in Georgetown, specifically in Georgetown, part of Region 4. Whether in South Georgetown, West, East, wherever you are, drop whatever you're doing right now. If you haven't done so, go out and vote. Stand in that line and vote. Look, I stood in lines before, not just to vote. I stood in lines to attend a party. I stood in line at the fish shop to get my moccasin. I stood in lines before. And it was for half hour, it was for hour, it depends. So nothing is wrong with going out to vote right now, something as important as this. Important for your community, development for yourself, your family. You're voting for your country. This is not just about you getting a little freck, you getting a little $5,000 or $10,000 from corrupt individuals who paying you to vote, but aren't concerned about your tomorrow, your next day, your future, your children's future. If they can corrupt you for the rest of their lives, they will do that. And the only party, the only team of individuals who aren't corrupting you, and that team has the best policy to move Guyana out of the mess that it's in, that team is APNU Coalition. You've got to do the right thing. Don't vote out of emotions or somebody who gave a little bling bling, a little motorbike, and all these sort of things. They don't have a message. A lot of these people, when you listen to them, they don't have a message. They don't have a proper message. It's just sound bites. You know, like you're in a party. I know some of you guys have, gone to parties before, and including yours truly. Come on now, right? And you hear the DJ, and if we have some DJs watching us right now, you hear the DJ say, right, right, over the music, right. And that is what those parties, they're offering you, right. You're not, nothing else. All you're hearing is, right. That's all you're hearing. But when you listen to the APNU and you listen to their policies, what they have to offer, it's the best. It's the best for young people. It's the best, young people like myself, that is. It's best for middle-aged people. It is best for elderly, and it's best for the elderly. Folks like Shonda Griffith and so forth are part of the elderly. I'm so happy that I'm part of the young group. And so all of you can play a role today by going out and vote. Make the right choice. Some of you who may be on the fence, sitting on the fence, some of you may be a little bit confused because somebody else might be whispering in your ears to tell you to vote for somebody who was never there for you, somebody who could never give you justice, somebody who might be fighting to save themselves from the justice system, whether in the United States or whether in Guyana. Those are the individuals who can't give you justice. They are pakuing you, they are swearing you, and they are offering you some bites, right? Just like the DJ or DJs in a party. just so, because nothing else to offer. Now, this is not to knock DJs. I know get some good DJs, they play good stuff, and the rare is for dancehall setting, right, William Bill Cato? And Tash and the entire crew, the right is for disco, is for dancehall. It makes you bill of vibes, and when you hear the DJ say, rare, you already don't know, is another Guinness or another moccasin, right? And so politicians should be able to articulate properly, to talk about policies. And when they can't talk about policies, must know they have nothing. They're empty. They have to read from prepared scripts. And some of them can't even read properly. They don't even know what they're talking about. So they go into the syndrome. Do not trust those guys who come to you and can't read properly, not even from a teleprompter, not even from a piece of script that was handed to them, and to put the country's future in their hands. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. So call your folks right now. Pick the phone up. Call them right now and ask them to go out and vote. If they haven't gone out and vote as yet, ensure that you remind them. You shouldn't have to remind them, because some folks in Guyana, I know when I was in Guyana, somebody said and give me a raise. Trust me, the next day they get in a call to remind them about that. So they shouldn't get upset if you call them right now in Guyana to remind them to go out and vote, that they have to go out and vote right now, wherever they are. One lady in West was complaining, and she was complaining that her name is on the ballot box. Her name is, at a particular voting station in West. She went this morning to vote, and they're claiming that her name is not there. She was upset, and rightly so. You've got to be upset, because if you are slated to vote in a particular area, and then when you turn up, you can't vote, of course you would be upset, because you've been voting at that same area for so many years. But because of the corruption at GCOM and the corruption by the PPP regime, they're suddenly telling you now that you can't vote there because of that corruption. And so that lady who said that she was first in the line has stood her grounds. She is still there. She wants to vote. That is what you have to do. If they tell you that you can't vote, your name in there on the list or in that particular voting area, do not give up. Do not. Look, a young person messaged me earlier. A young person messaged me earlier, and this is what this person said. I'm looking for the message. So they messaged earlier to say that they voted in one area, and then they're looking now, they changed their polling station or whatever the area, they moved from one area to the next, and so they have to vote at somewhere. And the individual said, look, they need to know where to go and vote. I said, look, don't waste your time. Rush out, go and vote. Go and vote. 15 minutes later, from 8:23 to 8:55, person messaged, voted. And they said who they voted for. Now, it is not, they're just saying this to me. They're just, and they're passionate. And these are young people. They're passionate. Now, I don't have to tell you guys, and it's not my business to tell you guys who they voted for. And I'm not going to tell you guys either. But what I do know is they made the right choice. Again, I'm not going to tell you guys who they voted for. But all I'm going to say to you is that they made the right choice. At this moment, all of you who are in Guyana, who are watching this program, and if you haven't voted as yet, now is the time to go out and make that right choice. Don't let somebody who, out of emotions or some vexation with somebody or the coalition, the vexation, you can deal with that after the elections. You can't be more vexed. You can't be more vexed with somebody in APNU than you are with somebody in the PPP. And your vexation with somebody in APNU shouldn't make you get so vexed and out of emotions, gone and throw your vote away to somebody who never cared about you. Because they're building a little 1 or 2 house now. Suddenly, there are people who have done 10 times more than that quietly. And I say this to say, do not be swore. Do not be fooled, guys. Do not be fooled. Now let's see what Indra is saying. And good morning to Indra. Indra is saying, Indra Jaiprasad is saying that she voted at 7 a.m. Let me quote exactly what Indra is saying. Indra is saying, I voted at 7 a.m. My father died 4 years ago and his name was just next to mine. Can you believe this? Indra is not the only person. Lots of people, and in fact, I heard a woman this morning saying that her parents' names are still on the list. They're relatives of hers and friends who have died, and their names are on the list to vote at the same polling station where her name is supposed to be on the list, and it is not there. Recipe for corruption, guys. Lots and lots of recipe for corruption. And those polling agents for APNU have to ensure those polling stations, even for the legitimate smaller parties, they have to ensure that they keep an eye on what the PPP's plans are to rig the elections. Now, we know some who were saying that they were guarding ballot boxes in 2020 and they were guardians of democracy. They're scattered. They're all over the place now. And some of them who paid for security people and give their guns and all kind of things in the 2020 elections, they know what the rigging process is like. And so who knows what they may attempt. And so as APNU people, you have to look, you have to have glasses on and look with 4 eyes. 4 eyes you have to look, because it's not easy. But what is easy is pick that phone up right now. Pick it up right now. Wherever you are, pick that phone up right now. Or if, and let's thank Indra Jaiprasad for that comment. Thank you, Indra. And Indra, I honestly hope you did the right thing. I honestly do hope. And now I'm not going to say what the right thing is. I'm not going to say it. I wouldn't. You guys know we are straight up here, but I'm not going to say it. People should already know. But thank you so much, Indra. Appreciate it. There's a point that I want to make. If you are anywhere close by Congress Place, stop by right now. Give them a case of water and a case of drinks. Or go to the right person in at Congress Place and squeeze $5,000 in their hands. It can buy food, it can pay for transportation, and we want the monies to be used appropriately, mind you. And so be careful, go down there, put the monies in the right hands. If you have the leader's number, call the leader. If you have David Hines' number, call David Hines. If you have these guys' numbers, call them. Call Ms. Doretta Fernandez. Call them. Ask them, where can you make a donation? If you have, now I'm not sure if Andrew's Supermarket is open. It's a holiday in Guyana. But this is the other thing that you can do. Those of you, if you're from Linden, I'll just use that as an example. If you're from Linden, and you have relatives who are polling agents, make sure they have something to eat. Don't let them stay there hungry. Hungry. You know, some people say hungry, right? Hungry. It's okay. Whether the people say hungry or hungry, or they not eat, we're Guyanese. Come on, we know what's going on. But make sure that you take something for your relatives to eat. Make sure you take something for your relatives to drink, the polling agents. Don't have them sitting there all day and the belly going grrr, grrr, like the waves at the seawall. Send something for your relatives to buy something for those polling agents to eat that are working for your party, APNU, that are working for your team. Now, I'm specifically saying APNU because I want APNU to win. I believe that APNU is the best choice. The best. No other right now. This is nothing against my friend, and I don't have to keep repeating this. I think Simona Bruns knows my position. I admire her strength. I think the folks from Forward Guyana, they know my position. I admire their strength and their courage, and I wish them the best. They have fighters within them. I wish them the best. But the others, I don't know about the others. Forget about the others, right? But the best party right now to take Guyana out of the drainage system that it's in is APNU. And so those polling agents for APNU, they got to get water. They got to get food. You don't want a situation where some corrupt person in the PPP walk in and give them 50,000 and say, go and buy food and come back. So by the time they come back, ballot boxes are stuffed. Votes are missing. Now, here is something else I want to say to you. As do not scratch the ballot papers. Do not scratch. When you walk into that private area to vote, just put your X right there as neatly. Don't put it next to in any box. Put it right there. You're voting for APNU, put it right there in that box where that X is. You've got to do just that. Don't scratch up nowhere else because it's going to be a spoiled ballot. The last elections, lots of spoiled ballots, but Claudette Singh said as long as you see where or the intent of the voter is what matters. But if you spoil your ballot paper, you spoil it. The law is the law. But Claudette bent over so much in 2020 elections. You've got to be careful. You don't want her to bend over in the 2025 elections again. And so be careful. Put a nice sweet X next to APNU. Right there. Right there. Take a look at that. Put that X. Put it right there. Top and bottom. It's important. Top and bottom. Don't split anything. Top and bottom. Now let me say this about APNU. I really want to say this about APNU. Here is my opinion. The PPP's back is against the wall. They are too corrupt. The people have seen it right through them. The evidence is there. Forget about a little couple of shabby roads and so forth and so on. And rushing to open a bridge that they were against, and then the coalition had a better plan for the bridge. But there's a bridge right now. And they're trying to score political points. Forget about the political points they're trying to score and trying to brainwash you at this point in time. People are going to go out in their numbers, not for a beach party or for comedy. They are going to go out in their numbers. And this is just my opinion, and I know thousands of you share this opinion as well. And they are going to give their votes to APNU. They are going to put the confidence and trust in APNU to take Guyana out of the mess it's in right now. You cannot expect people who are in a mess, either through serious allegations of corruption, to save you or to save Guyana. You cannot expect these corrupt PPP vagabonds to save Guyana for another 5 years. They're not going to do it. You already know who they are. You've seen them in action for 23 years. You've seen them in action for the past 5 years. Why be fooled again? Why allow yourselves to suffer? Why sit back and allow your country to be destroyed by vagabonds who just don't care? Vagabonds who have ripped the country off for all those years, evading taxes, smuggling of gold, smuggling of fuel. Do you know how much that could have done to build Guyana, to make Guyana what it is, or what it ought to be, what it was under the coalition? But no, they were all corrupt. They were all hustling you. They were all depriving you of justice when they were corrupting the Guyana police force. When they were moving around with sirens, nobody cared about you then. And I'll tell you guys this, I look straight in the cameras as I say this to you. It breaks my heart to see people who are fighting for justice, people who want justice, some people who really want justice, actually believe that people who are corrupt, people who have participated in the oppression of Guyanese, who have sat back and said nothing when people were being slaughtered left, right, and center. Some of them were even complicit. Some of them even were financing phantom squads and death squads to kill your people out. How can you put your trust in individuals who were part and parcel of an oppressive system, a corrupt system, a murderous system, to give you and your families justice? As they say in Guyana, make that make sense. Because it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense at all. There's no justification for that. Absolutely none. And so as you prepare to go out and vote right now, again, call your relatives, call your friends. Lots of people I know, they're out in the streets. They are preparing to vote. That is what they're doing. They are preparing to vote. Call them right now and remind them. Tell them how important it is. If they don't have money or transportation money, arrange for them to get some money right now. If in Georgetown, let us focus now in South Georgetown. You need to get the votes out in Georgetown, South Georgetown. I noticed some individuals who have never done anything for you other than rushing now to build 1 or 2 homes and painting it in blue and all sort of things, talking about Georgetown. Region 4, don't throw your votes away. The people who don't care about you, never cared about you. Go out in your numbers in Region 4 and vote overwhelmingly for APNU coalition. No one else at this point in time can save Guyana. Just imagine young people, 18 years and up, free house lot. You guys deserve that free house lot. You deserve a good start in life. This is exactly what APNU coalition is offering you, a good start in life. Fairness, equality, and the billions of dollars of oil revenues will be going back into your communities, not into the hands of corrupt individuals. Not only a few can drive those cyber trucks, Ferraris and Rolls Royce in Guyana, and Lamborghinis, and you are punishing. Not only the friends and cronies can get tax deals and tax breaks and concessions, cheating the tax system in Guyana, and by extension, robbing you, the ordinary people. While you, if you want to purchase a minibus, you have to pay the full tax. A GCOM, a GRA, sorry. You got to pay. If you want to buy a car, you got to pay your duties. You got to pay that. So you, the ordinary people, have been punishing, and the few friends and favorites of the corrupt PPP regimes are enjoying the good life. Now, some who can't enjoy the good life as they used to, they're still enjoying it, but not with the sort of freedom that they had before. Freedom to corrupt the police force, freedom to corrupt government officials, freedom to just corrupt individuals. They don't have that freedom right now. And so they're going to you crying and begging with crocodile tears to tell you that they can do something for you. They don't want to do anything for you. They want to save themselves. Be careful when you go out and you vote. And now some of you may come and say, well, PNC or APNU, what did they do for you? Now, let me answer this question. And it's a fair question. Don't get me wrong. Now, after 23 years of corruption, after 23 years of extrajudicial killings, after 23 years of persecution, after 23 years of scores of people who were wrongfully incarcerated on trumped-up charges, hundreds of young men slaughtered. Those who are now trying to tell you that they could fight for justice for you did nothing. They didn't care. They were part and parcel of it for the most part. Serious allegations are still hanging over their heads. I say this to you, and I really do mean it. They do not care about you. Let's look at the evidence of coalition from 2015 to 2020. Some errors were made. But when you look at the development of Guyana, let us start with Georgetown. Georgetown was the filthiest capital city in the world, under a corrupt PPP regime, under a racist PPP regime, under a PPP regime that discriminated against the people of Georgetown. They withheld billions of dollars that they owed the city council. They didn't pay their bills. Their corrupt so-called business people didn't pay their fair share of rates and taxes in the city. They stifled the city. Garbage was all over. You guys remember how Le Rippontier Cemetery and the other cemeteries around Georgetown, how they were. They made Le Rippontier Cemetery into a garbage dump site, and they named it Mandela Dump Site. All of these things happened under the corrupt PPP regime. So when you hear Anil and the likes talk about coffee and house slave, and they have no regards for people like Coffee and so forth. None whatsoever. Just like they never had any regards for naming a dump site after Mandela Dump Site. A few of us fought to have that removed. A few of us. Locked up to have it removed as well. And just as an example, the PPP, they didn't care about those who were alive. They didn't care about those who were dead. What makes you think they are going to care about you right now? For you to go and give them your vote. Don't do it, guys. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about doing it, do not give the PPP your vote. Do not waste your vote. Do not split your vote at this time. It's too late. Don't split your vote. Go straight into that voting booth right now, wherever you are, and vote for APNU. From 2015, when the coalition took over, mothers were able to breathe again. Their kids were able to walk the streets without being shot to death, gunned down by PPP-affiliated Phantom Squad, Death Squad individuals and corrupt members of the Guyana Police Force. That happened under the coalition, where young men can walk the streets freely. Mothers were happy. If you didn't see that as a success, then something is wrong. What about the schools? Talk to me. What about the schools? What about the school system? Talk to me. I know it's a holiday. I know it's Labor Day. Some of you might be prepared to head down to Eastern Parkway. But Eastern Parkway, while it's important, and if you go there to shake a little bit, don't forget what is happening in Guyana right now. And so for those of you, I don't want to get off track here, those of you who suck your teeth and said about the coalition, what the coalition did a lot. The only silliness with the coalition is that they weren't boasting about what they were doing. They took a lot for granted. Or maybe the PR folks were darn weak, if you ask me. And they should have been able to sell the good things that they did. Let's talk about GPL under the coalition. The best that we have seen in the 23 years of a corrupt PPP regime. The best time that you guys have enjoyed GPL and that GPL was able to make a profit after 23 corrupt years was under the coalition. The healthcare system that was broken down under a PPP regime got a lifeline under the coalition government. Port Morant Hospital, well equipped. The health centers across the countries were repaired and properly equipped. And all these manner of things under the coalition. People weren't dying every single day, mothers giving birth and dying. All these things happen under the coalition, whether it's Kellen Hospital, mothers were dying at childbirth, Mackenzie Hospital, Georgetown Hospital, Cotton Tree Hospital. All these things were happening under the PPP regime, while those few who pretend that they love you now were sitting there and enriching themselves and robbing you, the taxpayers, of hundreds of millions of dollars. And now suddenly, you think they care about you? No. They only want your votes. That's what they want. And so some of you were you allow yourselves to be gullible, to buy into this notion that the coalition, for the 5 years they've been in office, they don't fall for that trick. I just told you about mothers who are able to have their sons and their daughters walk freely without being slaughtered in the streets. That's what happened under the PPP regime, and their friends who gave them guns, the friends who were smuggling fuel, depriving taxpayers of their monies, the friends who were smuggling gold, and the drug lords who took control of your communities were all put in check when the coalition won in 2015. Now let's talk about roads. Roads were properly built, not in just APNU AFC areas, but roads were built in every area. Equality across the board. All Guyanese were treated with love, dignity, and respect. We're not seeing that now. And if you make the wrong choice in these elections, you're not going to see it in the next 5 years. You're not going to see it in the next 10 years. They will corrupt the country even further. And those of you who are about to make a mistake because of emotional voting will put Guyana in further danger. Now, I touched about GPL. How many of you know that GPL for 23 years never made a profit under the corrupt PPP regime. And then suddenly the coalition got in there and GPL started to make a profit. What does that tell you about governance? It tells you that APNU coalition governed the country smarter, 100 times smarter than the PPP regime. The PPP wasn't governing the country. They were ripping the country off and they were enslaving you, the people, while enriching their friends and cronies. Just imagine, people are punishing in that country for a piece of house lot. 25 years and you can't get a piece of house lot. But the Mohammeds got 83,000 acres of land. 83,000. Can you believe this? When the people of Mocha being bulldozed, Mocha Arcadia being bulldozed, these people who suddenly say that they care for you and want to fight for justice for you, did they ever go out? Did they ever show any concern? Did they ever issue any statement? Did they ever support anybody financially and all these things? No. They never did because they were enjoying it. The more people who were bulldozed off their lands, these so-called overnight rich and corrupt individuals, so-called business people in Guyana, they were benefiting. And now suddenly some of them pretending as though they care about you. Now let's touch on sports under the coalition. More should have been done in the area of sports, but 10 times more was done under the coalition for sports for young people than under the corrupt PPP regime. Now let me take a moment now to talk specifically about to young people. Now here's what the coalition did for you from 2015 to 2020, and here's what the coalition will do for you when they are declared the winner in today's elections. And they can only be declared a winner if you go out and you vote right now. Young people under the coalition government, they were able to do this. The boys' school and the girls' school under the PPP regime, they sent your young people there. Just imagine if they see a couple of little boys roaming the streets of Georgetown and New Amsterdam. They rounded those young people up, those little boys up, and they took them to boys' school, dumped them into boys' school. No proper training, nothing at all. And some of them learned their criminal trades from those, from the boys' school and so forth. We can mention a few. Little girls were picked off the streets, or the parents said their own way, and they took them to girls' school. When the coalition got into office, the coalition said, wait a minute. That's not how you treat young people of any nation. And so those young people were removed from those schools and they were given a second chance. They were given a second chance just to do that. A second chance. All of this happened under the coalition. Under the coalition government. Under the coalition government, they did that. They did just that. Sorry about that. Folks are just messaging and yeah. So for those of you who have said that the coalition and no. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled. Guys, Aftab Ali, salam alaikum. Aftab is saying that the boys' school is like a jail. It was like a jail. That's what it was, like a jail. A jail, guys, a Jail, jail. That is what it was like. And the coalition was able to save our young people. And so when folks, and I've had my issues with the coalition government because I wanted to see more and for them to do more and for them to, but you can't say they haven't done anything. You cannot say that. Because If the coalition did all of that in less than 5 years, just imagine what they would have done if they weren't cheated out of office. Just imagine what they can do now. Once you go out there right now, go out there right now. Call your folks, call them, ask them to go out and vote, and let them put their X next to the palm. Let them vote for the coalition. Let them vote for APNU. Disregard anyone telling you. And people have gotten so bold, they're telling you, they're looking at you in your eyes and tell you split the vote. Right? To me, it is vexation. It is vexation when they're blatantly telling you split the vote. Now, they're not telling you to split the PPP's votes, because they're not telling you that. They're telling you to split the opposition votes. Now, something is wrong with that. You guys don't have to just fight against the PPP, the corrupt PPP regime. You have to right now fight against those who are telling you split the votes. You have to fight against those corrupt individuals who are telling you that they could seek justice for your loved ones. If they can't get if they are on the justice radar, the radars of the justice system, whether in Guyana, whether in America, do you think they could seek justice for you, your loved ones? Come on, guys. Do not be brainwashed by individuals. Do not allow a little pittance to get to you, to overshadow you, and to take control of your thinking. Your country's future is at stake. And if you want justice, look around, APNU. Look at the individuals who are there that can fight to ensure that you get justice. Now, a few of you may say, well, why didn't some of these people who murdered people, who persecuted people, why weren't they placed in jail under the coalition? I'll tell you guys this. Because of the system being so corrupt, for 23 years under the PPP regime, where we saw so-called business people corrupt the police force. They were paying the police force. They were giving police force cars, Mark II, SUVs. They allowed the police force to line up at their business, long lines to give them $5,000, $10,000, and so forth. Never before have we seen that level of corruption in Guyana. And so those are the individuals who participated in the corrupt process, who participated in your oppression, and who participated in the police force being as corrupt as it is under the top echelons that we have there. I'm not painting all of them in the Guyana police force as corrupt. Majority of the members are good people. But when we saw the corruption happen for 23 years, drug lords moving around with firearm licenses under the PPP regime, so-called business people and gold smugglers and money launderers were allowed to have security firms, big guns, sophisticated weapons more than the military, more than Guyana Defense Force, more than the police force. And you're telling me you're comfortable with putting the country in the hands of such individuals? You've got to be kidding me. Remove the emotions, remove the bombs raised. You could be so vexed with Aubrey Norton or somebody in the coalition that you're throwing your votes away because of vexation. Now, y'all know my position with some of them in the APNU. Y'all know my position. But it's never at a point whereas you throw the entire bathtub away because of some differences, bumps raised, and so you've gone somewhere else to not only throw your party away, and those of you who claim that you're PNC members, to throw your party away, all because of silly vexation. It shows that you are never party people. You're just basically there for devout, and you get vexed and you're gone. Bumps raised, jumping on some other platform. It's not about country, it's about self for some of those individuals. don't know what else to tell you guys to convince y'all right now. New coalition right now. Call them up. It's the best thing to do. And as they say in the coalition, in order for Guyana to grow, the corrupt PPP must go. Another thing that's happening, maybe by design, is messages about constant blackouts. Blackouts at polling stations. Blackouts. Now, in case some of you don't know that the blackouts are orchestrated. Now, I noticed someone named Raccoon comes here and telling you, no, Raccoon, go back in your hole. Go back in your hole. Not today. We don't want no raccoon here. No animal face. No raccoon. Raccoon, go back in your hole. So y'all know what happened, Raccoon, right? Look, I know there are other people who may want to speak to you guys. There might be other platforms and so forth. I'm not going to sit down here for hours upon hours upon hours and gaff. I just want to make this quick and sweet so that you guys can get the message. How important this is that you call your people right now in Guyana and you urge them to vote. Let them go out in their numbers and vote. I've seen some people embracing oppressors, thinking that oppressors will bring justice to them and their loved ones. No. We all need justice. We all are victims of a corrupt system. We are all victims of a corrupt PPP regime. We are all victims of a corrupt police force. We're all victims of corrupt process. So no one individual is a victim and others aren't victims. We're all victims. We have all suffered. We have all been persecuted. It just so happened that some of us felt the brunt of it. And some of our brothers and sisters aren't here to speak their stories because they have been executed. They have been assassinated under a corrupt PPP regime. And when those individuals were assassinated, you didn't hear people, the likes of the Mohammeds and them, coming out talking about fighting for justice. They weren't concerned about justice then, when hundreds of people were slaughtered. They weren't concerned about justice for the likes of Waddle. They weren't concerned for justice for the likes of Courtney Crummy Wing and Donna McKinnon, who was killed in front of Freedom House in 2001. They weren't. And people who weren't concerned about justice then, do you think they are concerned about justice for you now? Guys, I will be back later on, hopefully, to remind you again, especially those of you who are in Guyana, to go out and vote right now. Go out and vote right now. Folks are messaging me and telling me to check some text messages and so forth and so on. You've got to, if I miss some of the messages, I can't talk and read them all. But go out right now. Hey, another thing that we're hearing, Bangladeshis, they have ID cards as of last month and June and so forth. There are hundreds of those fake ID cards going around, compliments of the corrupt PPP regime. Recipe for rigging. That's what the PPP wants to do. And if all of you play your role in being vigilant, then victory will come your way. APNU stands a darn good chance of taking control of the government, of the country, at the end of this day. Voting comes to an end at 6 p.m. As long as you are in that line before 6 p.m., you have to remain in that line to finish voting, to finish the process. If you join that line after, then you don't have that right to vote. That is why it's important that you go out now, you join that line right now. And if the line is so long enough that you're still in that line as of 6 p.m., you are still allowed to vote as long as you are in the line. Go out and vote. Linderness. Don't be swore, don't be fooled. There's only one party that could do good for you and your town and your region. That is APNU. Do not be fooled by the reds and the blues. And I really do mean blues. Do not be fooled. Go out in your numbers and vote for APNU coalition. Kokwani, go out and vote in your numbers for APNU coalition. And people in Ituni and other parts of the country, go out in your numbers. To the folks in Blackbush Polder, do not throw your votes away. Throw it in the right direction of APNU. Now, so yeah, folks, lots and lots of experts giving their opinions, but the opinion right now is to get people out to go and vote. Go and vote. Now, bumps raising, there's some girl by the name of Ron Francis. The girls will come out. The girls will come out. I'm sure if you go around the cathedral, later on you'll see Ron Francis right there at the cathedral, right there. They're coming out. All right, bumps will be raised, and it's okay. Bumps will be raised, but you've got to do what is right. Call your people right now to go out and vote in their numbers. I'm out of here. I'll be back later on today. Do the thing and be aggressive. Watch out for those who may call you for emotions and tell you, don't bother with Mark. Yeah, don't bother with Mark. Y'all don't worry with those sort of people. Tell them make sense. They may even know some of them confused. Tell them make sense. That's all. Don't abuse them. Don't waste your energy. Just do what is right. Go out and vote. You know what to do. I'll be back later, right here. I just decide that others on their platform who are urging you to do the right thing, they should have a say as well. But do not, there will be lots of talkers, noisemakers. It doesn't add up. You're smart enough to read between the lines, the message or whatever so-called message they're sending. You're smart enough to read between the lines. You know who some of them are. I'm out of here. God bless you.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, you go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
I am Aubrey Compton Norton, presidential candidate of the Partnership for National Unity. We have the best team in this election campaign. We have the best manifesto with the plans, policies that will take you out of poverty. We will ensure that money is put into your pocket. For those reasons, we urge you to vote APNU. Put your X next to the palm. Ghana needs to grow, so the PPP must go. The only party that can give us a better and brighter future is a partnership for national unity. I urge you to put your ex next to the palm and enjoy a high quality life. Thank you.
Yes. You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you there in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at the people.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yeah.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection. A quick one for you. And the last time I said that, somebody came up to me and said, man, you little bias. Erection is a man thing. What happened to the women? So I got a woman thing for you. And hear me, from the moment she slime up till you get caught up, we can take care of you. Thank you. Thank you.
London, make some noise! London, if you love me, make some noise!
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours a blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen.
People want to know how to vote. People want to know how to vote. You understand me? Look carefully. Where you put the X. Right there. Right at the palm. You get your ballot box. You go to the ballot, go to the booth. You go in the booth, collect your ballot, and you go and you watch all the candidates. And you go and you put your X right there at the palm. Right there! So you know how to vote now. Right at the palm.
Yes. You want to tell me all these years, Mohammed and his father and all of them is a part of PPP that had gone at the PPP office, Freedom House on Rob Street, protecting the PPP from the black people and PNC. And all the time, you there in there, you never see that they ill-treating black people, they killing out black people. You never see this corruption within this party. All the time, you, your family, your uncle, your father, your sister, your mother, everybody supporting this party. Y'all never see that this party is corrupt. Never at no point in time until sanctions start raining down upon you and you expect them to cover you, and they did not cover you. They took away all your gold and diamond license and your business license, your cambio license, and you get upset. And then you started to decide that, you know what, I can run for election to get rid of the sanction, and I can run for election to get back at the people.